It's time for your next adventure.
I have no idea what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
How exciting.
Oh, what a beautiful day. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweatshirt because it's 50 degrees in the morning, which means we're no longer in Texas. That's right, we left Texas. After 6 months of being in Texas, we hit the road again and we are headed back to Idaho for a little while because I have a couple weddings to finish up, also elk hunting, which I'm super excited about. On the way there, we decided we're gonna stop at a few places and have some fun. And the first stop is the Great Sand Dunes of Colorado. So follow us, we're gonna go on an adventure. Step into the Great Sand Dunes Wilderness. This unexpected wilderness offers opportunities to enjoy, explore, learn, and recreate in one of our nation's unspoiled wonders. One thing we love about visiting our national parks as road schoolers is the opportunity to learn about our planet and the area we are exploring. We always stop into the visitor center first, so we can take our education out into the field and make learning fun. The tallest dunes in North America are the centerpiece in a diverse landscape of grasslands, wetlands, forests, alpine lakes, and tundra. To get to the dunes, you have to cross through Medano Creek. This is a super wide but very shallow creek that flows over the sand. More on that later. You can explore the sand dunes just by hiking around, but we knew with the kids we wouldn't get too far, so we decided to stop by the Great Sand Dunes Oasis store just outside of the park and rented some sandboards. We all had a blast bombing down the smaller dunes and even racing each other. Although the winds did start to pick up and began pelting us with sand, and Parker described it as getting poked with needles. So after several minutes of this, we realized it wasn't going to let up. So we decided to head back down to play in the creek, but not before I caught Parker on camera doing his best to hide from the needle sand. There was a light afternoon thunderstorm just before we got there, and we could actually see rain and lightning off in the distance, and it was magical. Back down at Medano Creek, it was less windy and the water felt so amazing. We started noticing what are called anti-dunes or anti-dunes. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's when the rushing water creates peaks and troughs in the sand, causing the water to build up and then the peaks break away, causing a new rush of water coming down the stream. It was incredible because it looked very similar to the rhythm of ocean waves. There. That's what they are. Yeah, shh. I'm trying to record the sound. Watch. It'll change. Like it'll smooth out, look at breaks, and then it builds back up right here. See that? I tried my best to capture it on camera, but we recommend you get down here and experience it for yourself. I have to say, after several months of humid Texas weather and a 100+ degree heat wave, this was a welcome and all too needed reprieve in the outdoors, and we soaked in every moment. At the next rising, we basked in the early sunlight, packed up the trailer, and headed off to our next destination. About 230 miles to the east lies Cortez, Colorado, the site of the ancient Pueblo cliff dwellings. To get there, we drove directly through the Rocky Mountains of southern Colorado. It was a fantastic drive and we enjoyed the scenery. RVers beware though, make sure you plan ahead and know any mountain passes you might have to encounter. If you find yourself driving between South Fork and Pagosa Springs, you will have to make the ascent of Wolf Creek Pass. It's about 10 miles of 7% grade, both up and down. And while we weren't fully mentally prepared, we are glad to now know what our half-ton Suburban is capable of. She's a champ. With Wolf Creek Pass behind us, it was fairly flat sailing to Cortez. Heading into Mesa Verde, we of course stop in at the Visitor Center to get our National Parks passport stamp and learn a little bit about the park and the ancient Pueblo people. This visit was probably our first disappointing national parks trip, as a lot of the sites were closed either due to construction or other issues, and it wasn't clear on the website that you can't actually go into most of the cliff dwellings without booking a guided tour, which a lot of visitors we talked to expressed the same sentiment. We were expecting to be able to take a self-guided tour, but we found out that that option is only available at a few of the smaller sites. So if you're planning a trip to Mesa Verde, make sure you get your tour booked at least 2 weeks in advance. Nevertheless, it was cool to learn about the ancestral structures, even if we could only see them from a distance. Just another excuse to go back, I guess. On our way out, we head back to the visitor center so the kids can complete their Junior Ranger program and get their Mesa Verde Junior Ranger badges. We also found out that the last native cultural presentation of the summer happened to be that very night. The Red Sky Drum Group came and told us traditional stories of the Ute people and performed several ceremonial dances. We were truly blessed with a beautiful evening experiencing their culture. From Mesa Verde, it was just a mere 2.5-hour drive to Moab, Utah. This was by far our favorite place that we had visited on our way to Texas, and so we thought we'd take even more time here before going back to our old home to take care of business. Staying 5 nights in Moab allowed us plenty of time to breathe, explore, and enjoy each other. We first found a local river spot to explore and play in the water. On day 1, I took a solo hike out at sunrise to an arch that's actually not in Arches National Park. It was so beautiful and grounding, and I took the chance to meditate and release some trapped emotions. If you didn't know, Arches is now experimenting with timed entries. So from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. you have to reserve an entry time or else you can't get in. But you don't need one outside of these times. So on the day we were going, there was only afternoon entries available. So we decided we were going to get up super early and get into the park before 6 a.m.
Where are we headed to, baby? The hike you've been waiting for. It's happening. I got up super early.
We got a second chance at hiking out to Delicate Arch, which if you watched our last video at Moab, you know we didn't get to do because the trail was icy. And now having hiked it, I can see how it would be dangerous with ice. Hiking out during sunrise just added icing onto this delicious cake. The Delicate Arch is definitely awe-inspiring, and after getting all of our photos, we just sat down to take a moment and enjoy the wondrous creation. Before we left the park that day, we stopped by the Sand Dune Arch, which was probably one of our favorites. This underrated arch is tucked away between 2 giant sandstone fins, and the ground is covered with beautiful red sand that is still cool from the night. and the kids wasted no time diving in. The next day, we set out again before 6 a.m., this time to see the landscape arch. The longest arch in North America with an opening of 306 feet. Crazy. We then stroll through the Devil's Garden, take a moment to sun gaze and get grounded. Lacey and Parker hike in their Earth Runners, while Ben and Emery ditch the shoes and opt for a more primal barefoot experience.
Go, 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 go.
We roamed around for almost 4 hours, through soft, cool sand, through and along a creek bed, until we got lost at one point before realizing that the trail went through and over some sandstone fins that were pretty sketchy, and we didn't feel okay taking the kids over, so we headed back the other direction. But we still had an incredible time.
It's almost as tall as my shorts. Yay! How would I go through?
You cool?
This is the desert.
Get the Sasquatch! What are you doing?
And of course, we had to stop in at the visitor center on our way out so that our junior rangers could be sworn in. Okay guys, so we've actually been back in Idaho for a couple weeks now. We are back in the beautiful Wood River Valley. I've actually completed 3 out of the 4 weddings. It's been a crazy wild ride since we got here, but we're actually staying on a friend's property, and it worked out that they were going to be gone for most of the time that we're here, and they needed someone to take care of their animals, make sure they're fed, make sure they get watered. They got some sheep over there, if you can see them in the background. They got a donkey here, and the donkey actually has a daughter. I don't know if you call it a daughter or not. A foal, or whatever you call it. And then we're also taking care of their dogs as well. And they also got some chickens over here that are next to the bunnies. They're just hanging out with the bunnies there. So anyway, yeah, we are posted up here. This is our spot. It works out perfect for us because we're just gonna be here till the end of September or so. But after that, have some other things in the works, and we're really excited about. I'm not gonna quite reveal them just yet, but we have some things that we're working on getting accomplished. One of those things, as you know, is selling the Airstream. So we're still working on that. We're still trying to get that sold. So if you know anyone who is interested in buying the Airstream, let them know. Tell them to hit me up. You can message me on Instagram, leave a comment on YouTube, or send me an email. I'll leave the email right here where you can send me an email. And check out the website, the link here with all the info on the Airstream. Great starting point for anyone who's looking to get into renovating but didn't want to do the shell lift and all that stuff, because that stuff's already done. I already did all the hard work for you guys. We're really excited because this is actually really cool that we're here on the farm, or on the ranch, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even really know what the difference between a farm and a ranch is. I should probably learn that if I'm going to buy land. If you guys didn't know, one of the reasons that we're selling the Airstream, life circumstances, it didn't work out to where we could finish it, but then, we ended up getting this current trailer that we have right now. Things just worked out to where we really want to pursue, instead of spending the next couple years working on the Airstream and getting that built out to what we want and spending the money on that, we thought we already have a trailer, and we ended up moving to Texas because we thought that that was going to get us closer to where we wanted to be, and we thought we wanted to buy land down south. But after being down there for a while, we kind of realized, like, you know what, we actually do miss the mountains. We miss being in Idaho, the cooler, not so humid air. It was rough down there, guys, and if you were following us on Instagram at all, you knew that we were dealing with what we called crotch critters, aka chiggers. And I know everyone down south talks about the chiggers. The funny thing is I lived in Texas, pretty close, about 2 hours east of where we were for 4 years, and I never got chiggers. And I got chiggers so bad down there. We all did. It was a nightmare. It was hell, And it's funny because I said when I moved up here from Texas 10 years ago, I said I'd never go back because it was like leaving hell and coming to heaven, because Idaho truly is a paradise. But anyway, we learned a lot of things. We met some really cool people. We had a great time. The work was awesome. We spent 6 months there, and yeah, so things just ended up working out to where we came back here, and now we're figuring things out. So we're not going to be staying in Idaho for this winter, but we'll be back. So with that, I'm really excited because we're going to take the channel in a little bit different of a direction. And obviously we're not going to be renovating the Airstream anymore, so there isn't going to be any more Airstream renovation videos. That was going to all end at some point, once I finished the Airstream, and then we were going to hit the road. So we're just skipping to the road part. Yes, we are going to be doing some travel videos and things like that, but they're going to be travel videos with a little bit of a twist. And this right here is a little bit of a preview of the content we will be creating and our goals. So it's going to be a little bit of travel, but it's travel with a twist. So keep an eye out for that. That's all I'm going to give you for now. And I'm gonna get going. I gotta edit this video and put it out to you guys. But anyway, look at that view. This is Idaho for you.